California. It's going to be Mexico versus Nigeria, live from the LA Memorial Coliseum. I'm Joe Rodriguez, joining to you from La Chuperia here in downtown Los Angeles, here with Fernando Garcia. Fernando, nice of you to join us today, man. How excited are you for this game today?
I'm super excited. Fans are finally able to come back to the stadium. So the ambiance, the vibe feels great. I'm super excited, and I think we're going to be able to give Mexico the win today.
We're going to see a lot of different faces from Mexico. So I think overall there's a high anticipation because this is the last game before the Gold Cup, right? And I think that Nigeria might be an underestimated team by some people. But in my eyes, I think Nigeria is a very strong team. So do you agree with me or no?
I totally agree with you. They're a great team. It's definitely going to be a hard game for Mexico. But si se ponen las pilas, Nigeria is a beautiful team for Mexico. But definitely, they always have great soccer.
Y si no se ponen las pilas, what's going to happen?
No quiero ni imaginármelo.
Well, there you have it. So first of all, I'm going to ask our producer, Andres, to actually put out a graphic. We're going to be giving away a Mexican national team soccer jersey. So ahorita que nos ponga la gráfica, nuestro productor right there, so you guys can see another Rosa Mexicana. You can see the very beautiful, you like that jersey, right?
I love that jersey.
Yeah, so we're going to be giving away one of those bad boys. So again, make sure that you tune in. ¿Cómo se dice? I'm like lost of words sometimes. Interact with our social media platform. Interact. Let us know that you're interested in winning the jersey. And I'm going to ask our social media producer on the spot, Mr. Luis Bravo, to tell us, hey, ¿sabes qué? You want it, but you have to be engaging, right? That's what you got to be doing.
Definitely.
So anyway, Fernando, let's get back to the action, back to the game. And what can you tell me about Chicharito being left out? I think that's probably one of the biggest talking points right now. The fact that Chicharito is not on the lineup raised a lot of eyebrows, a lot of concern, and there's a lot of people, a lot of fans in particular, that are not very happy. We're going to bring in LA Soccer Hub's Gio Garcia a little bit later. He's going to talk to us more in depth about what that means. But in your words, tell me what you think about that. What did you think about Tata Martino's move?
I think now bringing Chicharito is scandalous. Right now, we have a lack of goal in the Selección Mexicana that is very obvious. Now Pulido got injured. Raúl Jiménez is not back yet completely. And we have a Funes Mori that is barely joining the team. So this is brand new for him. This is the correct time to bring Chicharito, because Henry Martin is also in the Olimpiadas. So this is the right time for Chicharito to come to the Selección Mexicana. And it's obvious that it goes beyond our knowledge with whatever's happening with Chicharito and Tata Martino.
There's been a lot of rumors, right, that Chicharito's got some beef, right? Maybe you could say that. But the reality is that none of us really know, man. You know, there's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of people out there that really all they do is spill rumors, right? But we don't know, man. Unless you're inside that circle or in Chicharito's inner circle, you really don't know what is going on with that. But now that we have Rogelio Funes Mori here, I think the pressure and the expectations are going to be extremely high. What do you say about that? What do you think about that?
I think Funes Mori is coming in with very high expectations. He's ha demostrado en Monterrey that he's a talented player, that he knows how to score goals in the most difficult situations. So I think he's the correct person to give us back el gol que nos ha faltado en estos últimos meses. En mi opinión, él y Chicharito serían muy buenos delanteros juntos, pero bueno, ahorita con Funes Mori le deseo lo mejor y creo que nos puede dar muchísimo a la selección mexicana.
I think that Funes Mori is he's gonna be facing a lot of pressure, right? Mucha presión that never in his life has he ever had. You know, he's never had the type of pressure of being. All right. One thing is being in Monterrey, right, and con los Rayados, but another thing is being part of the Mexican national team. Obviously, Chicharito firsthand knows what that's like. So Funes Mori is gonna have to deal with this immense amount of pressure, and he's not going to really feel that until he stops scoring goals.
Correct.
Ahí es cuando sí le va a caer el 20, ¿no? Como dicen.
I think the advantage that he has at the moment is that everybody, all the fans, are welcoming him with open arms. Todos le están dando la bienvenida y lo quieren que empiece a jugar con nosotros. Y esa es la ventaja que tiene Funes Mori, de que ya todos lo queremos.
Yeah, so that itself is going to be, it's a good thing, right? Porque at the end of the day, we know that one thing that the Mexican fans do is support. So they do a lot of support for the players, pero también son bien traicioneros the moment that they stop scoring goals, right? So the moment that Funes Mori doesn't start executing, right, doesn't start scoring goals, that's when the people are going to be like, you know what, mejor para afuera, right? Or they're going to start saying things like, otro extranjero, this and that, bibidi babidi. Y está cabrón eso, right? Because at the end of the day, ultimately what ends up happening is that that also plays a big role on the player's psyche, right? When the player's psyche has a strong impact, entonces sí, pues está canijo, right? But anyway, Funes Mori is just one of many things that are going to end up happening, and one of many storylines, I should say. But let's talk about a couple of the other things, right? I want to talk specifically about Tata Martino and also about some of the things that you see that you like with him, right? Because there's a lot of pressure also being the coach of the Mexican national team, but talk to me about like some of the things that you have liked about him specifically. What are those?
I think the main thing that I've liked with him is that he stays consistent. Osorio me dejó en un mal sabor de boca porque en cada partido empezaba con una alineación nueva, desconcentraba a los jugadores y nos sacaba de onda a todos los fans, pero el Tata Martino, he's made sure to always be consistent and work with one goal in mind, you know?
Yeah, no, that's good. That's not really. Now, on the flip side of things, let's talk about the thing that you don't like about El Tata Martino. What is it that you don't like, or maybe you think he should change?
Well, I think the main thing is not calling Chicharito, but again, I don't think it's up to him. Right now, I haven't seen much since they started playing again because of COVID. So I don't have much to complain about El Tata. I think he's doing a great job. So hopefully he keeps it up.
All right, now let's dive in a little bit closer in this matchup against Nigeria. So we're going to ask our producer to put in the graphic for the matchup between Mexico against Nigeria. These two teams don't have that much of a rivalry because it's an African team. Mexico hasn't really played too many African teams. And the reality is that when they do play these African teams, right, it's not that easy, right? One thing is playing African teams in the 80s, but another thing is playing teams from Africa that are, you know, the present day African players that are loaded with nothing but EPL stars, right? So as we take a look at the history between these two, you see that the discrepancy is not too crazy, right? Ultimately, like you see, that Mexico has done a decent job overall against the African nations, but you know, from Nigeria themselves personally, what are the things that probably scare you or concern you the most?
These players are really, really fast and very, very strong, and they're also tall. I think a lo que se refiere a la fuerza y a la velocidad nos pueden ganar. Tal vez en la técnica nosotros somos un poco más superiores, pero de todas maneras hay que tenerle respeto a este tipo de equipos como Nigeria. Y yo creo que va a ser un partido muy cerrado, pero creo que podemos sacar el marcador.
El ambiente aquí está todo lo que da, as you can see right behind us. Actually, I don't even need to point that out. It's pretty obvious, right? La gente está prendida, they're all in right now, and I think it's exciting, right? It's exciting because this is going to be the first post-COVID big-time Mexico game here in LA. So we're expecting, like, you know, the fans to be taking things out there to the fullest. But I also got to bring another talking point, and it's related obviously to the game and just the Mexican national team in general, and that's the infamous chant, right? There's a lot of division surrounding that, but like we can go back and forth about that, regardless of how some people feel. But at the end of the day, there's already this, the FIFA has a hawkeye on the Mexican national team, fans, right? And from my understanding, I wasn't out in Nashville, But from what we learned, it seems as though the fans in Nashville were relatively well behaved. Do you expect a little bit of that trend to continue, or do you think the fan base in LA is a little bit more rowdy? What are you thinking?
Well, first of all, I'm super excited to see the vibe, to see everybody happy again. It's an amazing feeling to see the stadiums open up after a year and a few months where no fan could go to the stadium, so it feels great. I really hope they behave. However, I do think the LA fans are rowdier than other fans, so that does scare me a little bit. I mean, I think Ochoa did a good job when he thanked everybody after the game for behaving. I hope today's player hops in the field before and after the game regarding this grito. And I feel like getting a momentum going, the fans are going to start behaving more. That's what I think, but we have to get that ball rolling, you know?
Yeah, no, that's a really, really good point. Actually, I want to give a couple of quick shout outs to the people that are tuning in. Ramon Chavez, nuestro amigo el Super Mojado, we were hoping to get him on, but we had technical difficulties, so he won't be joining us, but at least he'll be very engaged with the messages here on our YouTube channel. Al twin, Noel Garcia, and he's asking, does Funes Mori miss a few tonight? Who knows, right? Right now the predictions are also coming in. Some people think 1-1, others think that it's going to be 2-1. Super Mojado with his prediction telling us that he thinks it's going to be 1-0 Mexico con un gol del Chucky Lozano. So, all right, let's talk also right now before we get close to bringing Gio right now. Let's talk about the demand that the Gold Cup is going to have. Because I'm getting like here all the people right behind me. I'm going to start going, hey. Now let's talk about the demand that the schedule asks for, right? So the Gold Cup, the opponents aren't necessarily too tough, right? But what is a reality is that it's a lot of games in a short amount of time, right? But do you see for this Gold Cup coming up any issues or concerns from Mexico?
I don't think so. I mean, estos jugadores son jugadores de alto rendimiento. Están entrenados para eso, para tener juegos casi seguiditos. Lo estamos viendo en la Eurocopa. Muchos de estos jugadores juegan muchos juegos en una semana. Entonces creo que no hay mucha diferencia entre los equipos de allá a México. Creo que tienen lo necesario para jugar bastantes juegos en poquito tiempo.
All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to bring in LA Soccer's hub, Gio Garcia. He's going to make his way in with us, and we're going to talk to him a little bit more. Gio, how's it going, brother?
Hey, good. It's going good, man. Excited to be here. We made it.
There you go. So, Gio with LA Soccer Hub, they cover constantly. It's the LAFC, and they also cover LA Galaxy. Gio, you and I discussed briefly about Chicharito's absence in this squad. So he won't be, not just in today's game, but obviously he's not going to be in the Gold Cup. So how much of a travesty would you say that this is?
I think he's a nation's #1 goal scorer, right? Everybody knows Chicharito. He has the rhythm. Like I talked about the other day, he has 10 goals in 10 games. Covering the Galaxy games now, every single time he scores in the Galaxy at Dignidad Sports Park is Chicharito. You hear the Chicharito sound. So it's like he's talked about it verbally, but the thing you also understand that if Tata Martino and him have had a falling out, whether it's with the Mexican Federation, right? There's so much fandom and passionate fans behind him. So I think we're going to see today if Funes Mori, if he can step up, right? Because that's going to be the big question. Definitely Mexico missed him out in the Nations League. Mexico missed him out in the Nations League, but at the same time, we're going to find out today how much Mexico is really going to miss him and in this Gold Cup.
What do you think, Fernando? You agree with what Gio had to say?
Definitely. I think the fans are going to make their chant that they want Chicharito because he is an essential piece for the Selección Mexicana. Hopefully, la Federación listens and whoever needs to listen to bring him back.
All right, so Gio, also the key component about, or what someone I'll probably say is key component about today's game is that they're going to have 2 LA Galaxy players, and those players have been instrumental in the Galaxy's success. What can you tell us about those 2 players?
Well, first off, with Efrain Alvarez, he's definitely taken up his game to the next level. Like I said the other day, he's played the number 10 role, and he's been more versatile. The last couple of seasons with the LA Galaxy, I would say it'd be kind of disappointing because, he got a lot of hype being with the LA Galaxy too. We thought he was going to be this great phenom player. It's taken a little bit longer time for him. But this year, under Greg Vanney and under the coaching staff, he's really flourished. He's a lot more fit. He looks more in tune. He's more versatile. His passing has always been there. And a couple weeks ago, he had a game winner against the Vancouver Whitecaps. So you're starting to see him really impact the game and really see how he can win you a game essentially with all those technical abilities. So obviously, he's not going to start today, but if he's able to come off the bench for the Mexican national team and to do that, I think it's going to really help them out. With Jonathan Dos Santos, like I talked about, that's going to be being him healthy. We know he shows up for these games, right? But he is a year older. He does have that experience. His legs may not be as under him, So I want to see him stay healthy, but also see how he can impact this team with the Mexican national team.
Fernando, going back to Efrain Alvarez, I think one of the things that, and these are, I could be starting the rumor, right? So forgive me if I'm the one that's starting out this rumor, but there's some speculation that Efrain Alvarez is being called out more than anything to keep him away from the U.S. national team. I think that he's a talented player. I like him very much. I think that he has a lot of potential. But do you think that he's ready to play a key role with the Selección Mayor?
I mean, he is a talented player. I don't know, you're starting a rumor or not, but...
I probably am. So, Efrain, look, if you're hearing this or we hear this, look, I think you're a legit player, man, and I'm glad that you're joining the Mexican national team.
But, I think since he's young, it's good to start him, giving him minutes, even if it's the last 10 minutes, the last 5 minutes. He probably won't be a major piece for the Gold Cup because he's very young. But, come the World Cup, if they do call him up for the team, he's going to have experience. He's going to have a year and a half worth of experience that can help us a lot in Qatar, if we make it.
All right. I was going to say, I just want to add to that. So we did see Greg Berhalter called him up at the beginning of the year to try to bring him on. And to the point to that, Tata Martino noticed that. And Tata Martino said to that point, well, if he's able to start for the LA Galaxy, which he's had some games this season, he's been more effective. And we've seen Efrain Alvarez be more of that versatile player. And we should also mention, he's going to be cap-tied now that he plays for the Gold Cup. So he's not going to be able to go back to U.S. men's national team. And I think this works out better for Efrain Alvarez to be with the Mexican national team because with Team USA, he would not really get a chance with the type of midfield and young players that they have over there.
That's very interesting because a lot of people look at that U.S. men's national team squad and they speak of them as the next Messiah, right? As the folks that are going to be taking over and probably over the region, right? Over the CONCACAF region. But at the end of the day, a lot of things can happen. There's been also speculation in the past, maybe not as big as there is today, surrounding the hype of the U.S. men's national team. But I agree with you. I think that at the end of the day, for Efrain, it always makes more sense for you to play at a place where you're going to feel wanted, and you're not going to get that he's not as good as Dest, or he's not as good as Pulisic, or what have you, right? But it's still interesting nonetheless that we're going to get a chance to see him. I think Efrain Alvarez has the potential to be just as good as any of those guys, or even better, right? But moving forward, do you see him making the move from the LA Galaxy to either Mexico or to Europe in the near future?
I do. This is the year that if that happens, this will be Efrain Alvarez's year, right? He got the call up to the national team. I think that's big. He's getting to be able to score, which is also a big thing. So I think this year for a lot of people, even a lot of people that talk with the LA Galaxy that cover the beat, really feel like this is Efrain Alvarez's year. And I feel that's the same way because if Efrain Alvarez doesn't continue to have success with the LA Galaxy this season, then I think LA Galaxy will be willing to cut its ties. but it's not looking that way. It's looking like Efrain Alvarez is going to be there for maybe another year, or he may go overseas. Right now, there's Joe Araujo who's getting a lot of interest from the international teams across the pond. But this year for Efrain Alvarez, and I think this Gold Cup is big for Efrain Alvarez because I think he will surprise a lot of people. I think he will come off the bench. He will surprise a lot of people because they've not been able to see him as much as I have. I've been able to see him play 60, 65 minutes. But if he could come in and give you 30 minutes, he could come and give you 25 minutes. He can impact the game and win you a game in that 20-minute game. So I'm very excited for Efrain Alvarez, and I think this is the next step for him to potentially either go to Mexico or go to Europe.
Yeah, and you're seeing that a lot more, right? That there's players that are trying to take that leap of faith and go to Mexico. The MLS obviously has grown substantially. There's a lot of players that are not just coming for retirement anymore. So it's an exciting time to also be part of this league. Really quick, I want to send a couple of more saludos to Noel Garcia, to Ivan Garcia, and also we want to give a big shout out, man, to the PBA crew because they're holding it down, dude. A lot of the event, if you guys would have been here earlier, you would have seen that it was a freaking riot in an all good sense of the word because they had the flag. We couldn't even hear. I was like holy smokes, like I can't hear whatever the hell is happening because it was so loud, so. But big shout out to them. Shout out to Ivan. Shout out to Javi, for holding it down. Also, I'm gonna ask our producer if he could throw us the jersey. It's somewhere in the corner, y escondidita. So throw it to us so we can show. I said, catch it, Gio, catch it. There you go. So go ahead and open it up. So that's the jersey we're gonna be giving away. So if you guys are actually watching right now, come and join us. Come and say hello. For a chance to win this. This is the real deal. So Luis Bravo, if you're there, have him do something. Play a little trivia with the guys. So Luis Bravo, shout out to him. He's also holding it down on our social media right now. So maybe you could do like a hashtag or something. Luis, try to make something. Vente para acá and sit right here next to me. So that way I can come here. So that way he's watching all of the comments. So anyway, that's the jersey. So if we can see it right there, that's an authentic jersey. So I have Luis right here. So Luis, really quick, what are you seeing on social media right now?
No, well, we have a lot of engagement, man. Everyone's really excited for today's game, and we're all excited here. We can see the atmosphere here. Like you said earlier, there was even more people here than what there are right now. So everyone's excited. I feel the excitement also with the people on social media. So we're gonna give away the jersey right now in a bit. So hopefully we get a little bit more excitement, more engagement too.
What can we do? This is where it's kind of tricky, right? But what can we do? It's a authentic jersey, dude. These people got to do more than just give us a like and give us a thumb up. What can we do? What would you guys think that's a good thing to actually to get a winner? I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Like a good trivia question,
Una pregunta difícil,
yeah. Good trivia question.
All right. So we'll do this. I'm gonna think of a question that I know off the top of my head that most people don't have the answer to, and I'm gonna have them put the hashtag ETO jersey, right? So they have to answer the question with the hashtag, and then we'll come back to you and then just let us know who were the participants that ended up being involved, and then we'll just do a random raffle. All right? So hang out right here para que no te me vayas tan lejos. All right. Okay, so let's go back. Dale la de esta playera si quieres, so that way. All right, I want to ask our producer to show us the Mexican national team's upcoming World Cup qualifying schedule. And the reason why I want to dive into that a little bit is because the World Cup qualifiers begin in September, right? So, Fernando, I'm going to start with you first on this. It's probably it's no longer the hexagonal, now it's the octagonal. So the advantage that Mexico had, if you want to call it that, and the US, Honduras, and a couple of those teams, is the fact that they were able to take the bye, right? But now they're going to be playing in the octagonal. So as we look at this graphic, right, we see that they're kicking off against Jamaica, then they're going to play against Costa Rica, they have Panama, and they closed against the United States in that very, very difficult game, right? Then the next year they have obviously Canada, Jamaica, so it's a really intense schedule, right? Because now we're looking at the Mexican national team competing against pretty tough opposition, I would say, in CONCACAF. So give me your opinion first on the first part of the year, Fernando.
Right off the bat, I see three very difficult games: Jamaica, Costa Rica y Panamá. Esos tres son equipos difíciles y Bueno, creo que México tiene lo necesario para ganar, pero sin duda ya no es tan fácil como lo veíamos antes, ¿no? Hasta hace 10 años era relativamente fácil, pero ahorita ya las cosas se están poniendo más complicadas.
What about you, Gio? Give us your thoughts on what you saw from the schedule.
I think it's gonna be a tough schedule when you look at Jamaica, Costa Rica, and like that always like the first 2 games there's not gonna be no Mexican fans allowed, right? So I think you add that element, they're not gonna have the supporters behind them. And I think it's just starting off in the right path, right? Because you're also gonna talk about right, some of the MLS players, Jonathan Dos Santos, Efrain Alvarez, say they have a great Gold Cup, or great season with the MLS teams with the LA Galaxy. They're still going to have to be going back and forth, right? Injuries. We expect Raul Jimenez is going to be there, right? So I think it's also being able to see how healthy the team is going to be, and if they can finish, with those games on a winning streak, on a winning performance, I think it's going to be great for them. But it's no easy task to trying to get to Qatar. A couple years ago, Mexico was so close to missing the World Cup, and that can happen any year, right? Tata Martino is still trying to figure out this team, right? Tata Martino, we're still trying to find out this team. Like I said, is Funes Mori going to be the number 9, right? Tecatito, is it like Antuna? All the guys that are going to the Olympics as well. How do they mix into this team? So I think there's a lot of questions, but it's a tough schedule, but anything can happen.
Yeah, absolutely, and I still, at the end of the day, think that Mexico is going to end up clinching the World Cup along with the U.S. But one thing that I've been referencing is that Canada is the sneaky favorite to, if not clinch 3rd, maybe in the 4th place, right? Going to the Intercontinental Playoff. Here's an interesting thought, though, about the upcoming schedule as well. So actually, I'm going to ask also the producer ahorita to show the other schedule, like the actual upcoming schedule for Mexico, because that also includes the Gold Cup. And the reason why I want to talk about the actual upcoming schedule is because of the P chant. FIFA has already said that Mexico has been they're going to have to play two games behind closed doors, right? So those games could be either in the Gold Cup. They haven't really said, but I don't think that's going to be the case. Or from did they say it from the qualifiers?
FIFA, yeah, it's going to be FIFA qualifiers, because this is CONCACAF. The Gold Cup is CONCACAF, so they're not going to do that for them.
Okay. So then this is the upcoming schedule, and this also includes the Olympics. We'll go back to the Olympics in just a second, but they'll play Nigeria. We don't know who their first game is going to be in the Gold Cup, but then in the Olympics, they have France, Japan, and South Africa, right? All right, so first I'll dive into the Olympics, and then I'll circle back to the other topic. For the Olympics, the squad had to be split, right? They had to take some of their best players to go over to Tokyo and play in the Olympics. Gio, I don't know how closely you've been watching Mexico and this young side, but what are you thinking or what are your expectations for that Olympics side? Can you give me any thoughts? And be legit, if you haven't, tell us.
No. They got to win a medal, right? Whether it's gold, bronze, or silver, right? They got to win a medal, because you have talent there. We saw what they did with the CONCACAF side, right? With the U.S. men's national team, who they beat. Mexico won it, right? So they have a lot of talent. You're taking Ochoa, Antuna, some veterans out there, right? You also got Vega. There's a lot of talent there, but I'm expecting Mexico to win a medal. Now, if it's a gold medal, that'd be great. But one of those 3 things, I feel like Mexico can win.
Man, Gio is putting a lot of pressure on Jaime Lozano.
If Mexico wants to be the best, I think you're not going to Tokyo just for vacation, right? You're going out to get the job done, and you got Ochoa as a goalkeeper. So that gives you a couple more points there.
Okay, I'm going to ask you the same question. Do you agree that Mexico is going to win a medal in Tokyo? And if yes or no, why or why not?
Well, I know so. I know they're going to make it that far.
He said, I know so. I know so.
The biggest test is France. And I think the rest of the tournament is going to be determined by that game. All of these players that are playing in the Mexico team are starters in their own team. And we have Lainez who plays in Europe. I think this Tokyo team is set out to do great things over there. And, I think all of the teams are concerned about this Mexico team. Most likely they're going to make it far.
So, but what kind of medal do they get?
I think they can win the gold medal.
Oh, okay. But are they going to win the gold medal?
Yes, they're going to win the gold medal.
I had to make sure that you told me that they win the gold medal.
He has not had a drink today, so he has not had a drink.
It's legit. It's a real feeling. All right, guys, so now let me circle back to what I wanted to point out about the upcoming schedule, okay? So we looked at the FIFA qualifiers, we looked at the gold medal, we looked at basically all the games that are lined up, including the Olympics. But the truth of the matter is that now Mexico is going to have to play those games behind closed doors, right? But one of the things, and one of the rumblings, right? And again, I may be starting a rumor or not. I didn't start this rumor. It's definitely a rumor that's already been out there. That they're trying to actually put those games on the women's side. What do you guys think about that from the Mexican? Okay, let me rephrase the question. If that is true, what do you think about that?
I thought they were also trying to punish the women as well. That's what I heard. I think they were putting out that, like, ESPN put a thing that the women's side could also get punished as the men's side. And I think I guess if you're FIFA and you're looking at this, right, why don't you just punish the whole federation, men and women, to really make a statement? And you know the chant, right? The chant, like, we all grew up with the chant. I grew up with the chant, right? But there comes a point that you have to learn what's right and what's wrong. And FIFA's telling us, and everybody else, we should know this. I know it's very controversial, but FIFA's already saying that this is not, we don't want this and we don't want to allow it. And we saw it in Nashville that they didn't chant. And I know it may be different here in LA, but I don't think people should say it. I like what Chuque Lozano said. He's like, Mexico, chant Mexico, and said, because I think you got to give someone else another option. So if they also, going back to your question, if they also punish the women, I think it'd be unfortunate, but I think FIFA's really trying to send a message.
What do you think, Fernando?
Well, you know, from a fairness perspective, it's definitely messed up, and I don't agree with it that they're trying to punish the women, because this punishment at the end of the day was set out for the guys' team, for the men's team. But if we're looking at it in who would affect more, definitely the men's team would be more affected by this punishment. However, in my opinion, I was actually looking forward to not having fans in the stadium, because I think that would give the players a peace of mind that there's not gonna be chance. Los jugadores, creo, también les afecta muchísimo el que haya gente cantando eso, gritando la palabra P, ¿no? Entonces, creo que les vendría bien jugar en puertas cerradas, porque estarían más calmados y concentrados del 100% al juego. Entonces, la verdad, yo sí quería que pasara eso.
Okay, no, that's a fair point, right? Because it needs to be eradicated completely. It needs to just die, right? It needs to be buried. Ya la gente ya se pasó de, you know what? So just move on, man. Because I think that at the end of the day, right now, it's all about pride and ego, right? It's just like trying to make a point.
It's a very sensitive time right now, too, right? People are getting canceled left and right, and I think FIFA, right, wants to be strong on this, right? You don't want to promote any type of violence or anything, violent word, I guess you would say, because, you know, like I said, when we were growing up, it was just a phrase. But once you actually learn and educate yourself, you're like, it's not just a phrase. You can be insulting someone, and you start to, it took me a while to educate myself, and I think you just don't want this to affect Mexico. You want to be able to go to the games. You want to be able to enjoy the games. And for a chant, that I know it's tradition, and I think if we could use another word, I think that's, and I like what Ochoa did. You know, he stepped up. I like how he did, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if he does it again today.
And there is something that I do want to mention. I follow a lot of pages on Instagram, and I read the comments and everything, and a lot of the comments that I've seen is that the grito usually happens in the United States. I haven't really followed up with the grito since, like, before. I only started following up since this punishment started happening, so I'm not too sure if the grito is eradicated in Mexico. Hay que ver cómo se va a comportar la gente aquí y en México y darnos cuenta si en verdad el problema está en Estados Unidos, para que se pueda concentrar en pararlo aquí, ¿no?
Yeah, so let us know if you guys are watching. Let us know if you guys think that the grito is gonna reappear here today. Apparently in Nashville they were really good. You know, they said that it was very, very like far-fetched, right? That they maybe heard it once or whatever, like nothing crazy. So it's a good thing. But like we need to go like to the point where like, yeah, right? So let us know in the comments if you guys think that we're gonna be actually getting back the grito, because a lot of people talk about the LA crowd, right? They talk about the LA crowd as being a tough crowd. And they really are, right? But I think they also are very respectful, right? There's a lot of families that come to enjoy the game. And look, going back to your point, at the end of the day, it is gonna be the stupidest thing in the world, and it's gonna be all of the fans' fault, right? If Mexico doesn't go to the FIFA World Cup. And it could happen, man. You know, and remember, like, people go like, oh, but there's a lot of money at stake, y que no sé qué, blah, blah, blah. Yes, there's a lot of money at stake, but the reality is that a statement needs to be made. And if we don't get our act together, and the reason why I'm saying we is because we are part of the family, right? We're all fans as well. But if they don't get the act together, we don't get our act together. And if you notice some, like screaming it and tell them something or putting them in their place, then that's also on us. That's our responsibility at the end of the day. Yeah. So it's something that is very serious, and people need to take that extremely serious. But it's going to be interesting to see. Luis, are we getting any comments on whether the chant is going to happen or no? No, it's up in the air. Yeah. So anyway, it's again going to be extremely interesting to see how the game unfolds, at least specifically with that.
The thing is that FIFA already put out a punishment, so no matter how much money is involved, no importa cuánto dinero pueda perder la FIFA si no va a México, they already put their name on the line, so they're not gonna back out from a punishment just because of money. They're not gonna put their reputation or their name or their credibility at risk just for the money. So I think this punishment is serious y va en serio. Si no paramos, nos podemos quedar sin mundial.
Exactamente, y eso es lo que la gente, y lo voy a decir en español ahora para que la gente sepa qué pedo, right? La realidad de las cosas es que si ya dejan de gritar ese grito, si no dejan de gritar ese grito, el mundial, bye bye, porque esa es la realidad. Ahorita FIFA ya les quitó 2 partidos, ¿verdad? Pero si siguen así, se siguen comportando de esa manera, al final de cuentas se les va a acabar el corrido, se nos va a acabar el mundial a todos y ya, así es que ya párenle. Si miran a alguien que está gritando eso, díganle, ya no manches, ya, carnal, ya, tranquilo, ¿no? Así es que ya tenemos que parar de eso. Pero going back now, like just big picture about the team and the expectation for the Gold Cup. Obviously, their biggest rival is the United States. We have no doubt about that. Group stages, it's probably very certain to say that they're going to end up coming out. Who are the teams that Mexico should be concerned about? And Gio, I'll start with you. During the upcoming Gold Cup for Mexico?
Obviously, you look at the schedule. I think they had Curacao, El Salvador. I mean, you definitely don't want to give up an easy game or anything like that, because I think you can't overlook the teams that the nation teams they're gonna face right away. Like, because we know Mexico, right? They won it the last time, but you can't overlook what the teams you have in front of you first before you try to get to the end goal, which is why in Las Vegas to try to win the Gold Cup. So I think the first couple of games you want to make a statement. You want to win, right? You want to win, but big, right? Is if it's 2-0, 3-0, you want to win with some clean sheets to really put your presence down and put your foot down. So I think the first couple of games, because you want to start off the Gold Cup right. So I wouldn't focus all on the group stage.
That's interesting, man. So Fernando, in the group stage, right? As you already mentioned. So I want to know from your perspective. Mexico waltzes in all the way to the final without a problem? If so, why or why not?
Well, I think that even though the first few games, like the group stage, is not that difficult, they're very important games, because those are the games that are going to put you into las semifinales y todo eso. Entonces, si llegas a las semifinales con una mentalidad, o si no jugaste bien en los primeros partidos, te puede afectar. Sin embargo, creo que los equipos más difíciles es Jamaica, Estados Unidos, Costa Rica. Nos dimos cuenta que Costa Rica no es un equipo fácil, nos ha costado en los últimos partidos ganarles, entonces creo que tiene que ir a todos los partidos esperando que ese equipo esté jugando muy bien.
So once we get down to the final, and I think all of us are predicting a U.S.-Mexico final again, it will be in Las Vegas. If we get to that point, do you see a repeat of the Nations League final, Gio?
I don't know about the outcome. I think you'll have a different outcome, because there's going to be the U.S. men's national team doesn't have the same roster that they did in the Nation League, which is unfortunate, because you want to that Pulisic, Messi, McKinney is not there, right? The same thing for Mexico. Mexico doesn't have a choice. So I think the thing that's, if it is Mexico and the U.S. at the same, the atmosphere is going to be the same, but the players are going to be different. And I think it would be another historic game, right? Another historic game with different players on the roster. So you hope Mexico gets to win, but like until we get to that point, I think I'm just gonna keep dreaming because you still have that little bad taste in your mouth because of Guardado ended up missing the PK. Whether Pulisic's PK was really a PK, who knows? Mexico got a shot and they weren't able to win their game. So I think a lot of people still have that bad taste in the mouth until Mexico's able to beat USA again.
Before I continue, I want to give a big shout out to our friends at Hincha Clothing Brand. As you guys can see, they're protecting my cabecita because ya se me está saliendo los. Yeah. So big shout out to Beto and the Hincha Clothing Brand group. Make sure that you guys visit the Hincha Clothing Brand. You get some ETO swag like this. So, mira, let me. They're gonna throw it out over here. Throw it también. Ahí está. There you go. So we're probably gonna have to give this to somebody so they can rock it. There you go. So, saludos a los chavos de Hincha Clothing Brand. Thank you very much for always being there for us and for holding it down. Esa la tengo bien achicharrada porque it's been traveling with me since Denver, so, but it's clean, all right?
No, it's good. It's clean.
There you go. There you go.
It has the tag.
It's a brand new one. So, ahorita a ver a quién se la regalamos. Like, we'll try to find somebody to give that to. But anyway, guys, Gio, I know it's getting a little late, brother. So before we wrap things up, I want you to give me your prediction on what you expect from today's game. And if you're going to include goal scorers, let me know who.
Obviously, I said yesterday Mexico's going to win 3-0. I'm still going to stick by that. I know Nigeria is a tough opponent. They bring a lot to the table, but Mexico has to win. I'm going to go one from El Tecatito, one from Chucky Lozano, and if Funes Mori is the number 9 striker, then Funes Mori.
Ahí está. Well, we'll get our prediction later. Gio, we're going to let you go so you can head out to the stadium. But
Joe, thank you for everybody tuning in. It was a great time, man. I appreciate it, Joe.
Make sure that you guys follow our caballero, Gio Garcia at
LA Soccer Hub and Gio Garcia LA.
Thanks a lot, brother. Enjoy the game, man. Ahí está. So that was Gio Garcia. A ver, here's another one right here. A ver esta. Otro sponsor que tenemos aquí, one of our partners, Chela Time. Make sure you guys follow them on social media. Are you all about Chela Time or what?
I'm always ready for Chela time.
I don't drink too much, but when I do, it's because of Chela Time.
It's okay, I'll drink your chelas.
Ahí está. So, esta también la vamos a regalar o qué onda? So, yeah, we're gonna have to give that away as well. All right, so ya se está vaciando el lugar. We want to be we want to thank our friends here at La Chuperia. So remember, obviously this is a big event, but make sure that if you're out here in LA, come and visit them. We actually had food the other day. One of our co-producers, Jay Reese, and the tortas was good. I think he had a torta que chilanga or something like that? I think he had a torta chilanga, right? That's what you had? Yeah, he had a torta chilanga, had a torta de carne asada. Food is delicious. So come out here to La Chuperia. Make sure that you enjoy the food and get an opportunity to taste it. And support local businesses, man. That's what it's all about. These are all raza-owned businesses, right?
I mean, I keep seeing tacos pass by and they look really good and I'm just here hungry, so.
I know. Actually, we're going to call probably ahorita one of the servers so that way they can... We're gonna order some tacos right now ahorita para nosotros porque we're getting a little bit hungry. Hi, how are you? What's your name? Brianna. We were just talking about the food and how the food is amazing. What do you think is the favorite food from that people order here at La Chuperia?
Definitely the torta chilanga. That's what they're known for. It was originally the torta spot, turned into the michelada spot. So you gotta try the torta chilanga and a michelada.
You can't see our friend here too much, but he had the torta chilanga and he said it was excellent. What about the tacos? Tell us about the tacos.
The tacos, the tortillas hecha a mano, they're delicious. The tacos de al pastor with the taco de chorizo. Fire.
Nice. So we're gonna have to actually put an order right here. Could you bring an order of tacos mixes, at least 10 tacos for us?
10 tacos, 2 of each?
Yeah, tráelos. Ordenamos tacos para ahorita comer, okay? So
los tacos de tortilla hechas a mano son los mejores.
I know. So again, it's super important to support local businesses. Support businesses that are owned by Latinos, because we all gotta help each other out. I know that I get into this tangent every now and then, but the reality is, Fernando, that we have to support each other. We have to help each other. We need, us to be engaged with our community, right? And it's super important.
Sí, si no nos echamos la mano entre nosotros, ¿quién más nos va a ayudar, verdad?
Exactamente. All right, so we have a little bit of time left. I want to start with the trivia, though. All right. So that way, the people that put the answer, basically, what's going to happen is they're going to be entered into a raffle. And a ver, productor, put the mándale la jersey, Luis. Yeah, ahí está, para que no enseñemos la gráfica. So ahí está. So this is again an authentic. A ver, agarra del otro lado. This is an authentic jersey, man. These things are like 130, 150 bucks, something like that. All right. So kudos to our homeboy Ivan Toribio for holding it down and getting us this jersey. So here's the trivia, okay? And you need to make sure that you guys let us know this using the hashtag ETO jersey. All right. You can post it on social media. You can post it on the comments here. But I want you guys to tell me who was the guy that assisted Jared Borghetti during that famous cabezazo in the 98 World Cup. All right, don't answer if you know it. But who was the guy que le mandó el pase a Jared Borghetti for that? Probably considered one of the best golazos in the history of the World Cup, right?
Correct.
So let us know who that is. Put it in the comments on Facebook or wherever you're watching us, and put the hashtag ETO jersey, and we're gonna go ahead and include you in that raffle. All right. So, but Fernando, with the time that we have left, I basically want to dive into the player that you're looking to watch closely today. Who is that?
First of all, I think el primer que todos estamos viendo es Funes Mori. Lo de Funes Mori es algo que ya estamos esperando desde que nos dijeron que se estaba nacionalizando. Y creo que ya todos lo queremos ver. Entonces,
I'm talking to our friend right here, the owner, porque ya nos trajeron la orden de,
ya llegaron los tacos.
But we wanna at least show the tacos. And we'll get back to your question right now. Mira, aquí están los taquitos. Así es que
deliciosos.
Bien listos to eat ahorita the crew now. We're gonna enjoy it as soon as we get on the air. Really quick, Sergio, talk to about maybe some of the specials, some of the things that you guys do in the middle of the week, so people could come out and join you guys.
Claro que sí, pues muchas gracias por estar aquí en la Chuperia. Aquí tenemos la especialidad de la casa, son las micheladas. Tenemos Taco Tuesday, cada martes $2 los tacos, tortillas hechas a mano. Tenemos a happy hour, $4 draft beers, Monday through Wednesday, and our great nachos too,
Perfect.
super nachos. So come on down, guys. We're right here at La Chuperia in South LA.
And tell us, how long have you guys been in business? How long have you guys been around here?
We've been in business for La Chuperia. It's been 6 years already. 2015 is when we revamped. We've been in this industry for a minute, but 2015 was when Chuperia initiated.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations. The food is excellent, man. We just wanted to make sure that we showed it to our fans that are watching right now. So,
Y viva México.
Gracias. Gracias. Ahorita nos los jodemos, Gracias. So ahí está. That's Sergio. He's one of the fellows right here in charge of La Chuperia. So big shout out to him and all the staff that's working here today. So now, Fernando, going back to the question, tell me who the guy that you're looking forward to seeing today.
Well, first of all, like I said, Funes Mori. Ahorita Funes Mori está en la mira de todos. Ya todos tenemos esperando a que llegue a jugar desde que nos dijeron que estaba naturalizando, ¿no? Entonces, I think everybody's just waiting to see him score. And the other one that I was hoping to see was Pulido. I don't know what's gonna happen since he got injured, but even prior to his injury, I wanted to see what he was gonna do with Funes Mori right there next to him, trying to pressure him to get the titularidad, you know?
Yeah.
So them two and the goalie. I want to know who the goalie is gonna be. Now that Ochoa is in the Olympics, the responsibility that the goalie is gonna have is big, you know? So hopefully they do a good job, and those are the three main people that I want to keep an eye on.
I also want to watch Funes Mori, man. And look, I'm gonna give people an analogy, and I think that this analogy is gonna help people get a little grasp, right, and understand this, and look at things through a different lens. Okay, I'm an immigrant to this country, right? And one of the things that a lot of us talk about is los naturalizados. We talk about like why isn't there more Mexicans? Why is there only like extranjeros, right, playing for the Mexican national team? and as a extranjero, and as a naturalizado myself, but here in the United States, I have no problem, because at the end of the day, I know that it's super important to give people the opportunity to take advantage of those opportunities being offered, right? It's not Funes Mori's fault that he got brought into Mexico to play in Mexico. He's been doing a hell of a job. And the same thing could be said about Guille Franco, the same thing could be said about Ciña, the same thing could be said about Matias Bozo, and on and on and on, right? And again, as an inmigrante, right here to the United States, imagine like how I will feel that people would say, oh, well, you weren't born in the United States, you don't get that opportunity. How would you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I would feel terrible, you know? And I think that's why a lot of the people, not everybody, but a lot of the people are welcoming him with open arms. They want him here.
Exactly. So that's the perspective. And again, thanks to the different perspective that people that are maybe on that side of like, oh, no more extranjeros, no more naturalizados. Come on, guys, you know? Hey, all of us are leaving our countries because we want a better life, a better opportunity. So just keep that in the back of your mind.
Y es que también si ellos le echan más ganas, si le ponen más huevos al fútbol que los que nacieron en México, ¿por qué no darles la oportunidad?
Si están anotando los goles, we're going to bring in our social media guru right here, Luis Bravo, para que nos diga más o menos like what is going on social media. A ver si alguien ya le atinó. So we'll sneak them right in the middle. Luis, tell us about the activities that you're seeing on social media.
Yeah, well, we have a lot of people on Facebook watching us from different places.
Okay.
And then also on our YouTube channel, we have a lot of people that are watching us there. So, I mean, they're ready. We had already one answer for the jersey giveaway.
Oh, yeah, so one answer, they got it right.
I don't know, I'm waiting.
Oh, okay.
I'm waiting to see more, but it seems, I don't want to say if they got it right yet, because I don't want other people to piggyback on it.
No,
so I want to make sure that,
okay.
So we have the answers, and then once we decide when it's the time, but then we'll give, but I already saw someone already answered, but.
All right, why don't you give us manda saludos a la gente que se ha comunicado en social media, since you've been watching closely.
Yeah, so we have Kevin Alexis, Junior Enriquez, Marco Pimentel, Kenneth Portillo. We have Hugo Balta said Chela Time. Juan Carlos Rojas, Marco Antonio Camacho, Juan Carlos Rodriguez, and I can keep going on and on, man. We have so many people watching us now. It's just, like you see. Yeah, so people are tuning in. Keep tuning in, guys. We're here live from La Chuperia, so yeah, just people are tuning in.
All right, we're going to come back to Luis antes de que vayamos, we do the giveaway. Y lo voy a decir en español también para la gente que nos está mirando en español. So vamos a regalar, a ver, productor, put the graphic of the Mexican national team jersey. Vamos a regalar una playera auténtica de la selección nacional. So, si nos están mirando ahorita, por favor, déjenos saber, tienen que contestar esta pregunta. Queremos saber quién fue el que le mandó la asistencia a Jared Borghetti con el gol del Mundial de 1998, ¿ok? So, el que le mandó el pase para ese golazo de cabeza en el Mundial del 98. So, pongan la respuesta y también en los comentarios pongan hashtag ETO Jersey o ETO Playera, lo que les guste más, ¿ok? So, vamos a regalar esa playera randomly a las personas. So, a ver, a veces se me va la onda, Fernando. What do you have for me? You have a question for me? Because pregúntame, canijo, pregúntame. What do you want to know?
Quiero preguntarte lo que me preguntaste a mí. ¿Qué esperas de México en las Olimpiadas?
Y recontra Ustedes dos fueron muy amables con México. Ustedes dos dijeron, tú y Gio, dijeron que México iba a ganar mínimo. Bueno, tú le diste la de oro. El Fernando ya les entregó la medalla de oro a México, and he's all like, okay. Y Gio dijo que mínimo una medalla de oro. Yo pienso que está bien complicado. Francia es una bestia, ¿verdad? O sea, a Sudáfrica posiblemente le puedan ganar. Japón es el local. Se me va a hacer muy difícil a mí que México avance del grupo. Pero si México llega a avanzar fuera del grupo, entonces ahí va a cambiar la dinámica completamente, ¿verdad? So, va a ser unas Olimpiadas muy complicadas, pero también puede ser unas Olimpiadas que si México sale del grupo, yo los miro llegar a las semifinales.
Sí, pero mira, ya lo vimos una vez, la final de las Olimpiadas, no me acuerdo cuáles Olimpiadas fueron, pero México le ganó a Brasil, y si no me equivoco, ellos eran los anfitriones. Entonces...
No, fue contra... No, la final de 2012 la ganó contra Brasil, sí, pero en Londres.
Bueno, pero creo que
No, pero fue contra Brasil.
Brasil
No,
es
claro.
una potencia, estaba Neymar, fue un equipazo, entonces
Claro.
no creo que sea diferente. Si México le gana a Francia, creo que ahí va a demostrar que tiene para llegar a la final.
¿Y si no le gana a Francia?
Aún así confío en ellos de que llegan a la final.
Bueno, sí, no le tienen que ganar a Francia necesariamente, pero tienen que demostrar algo en la cancha también, ¿no?
Sí.
Ok, bueno, yo pienso que al final de cuentas puede ser, ya dije, si pasa del grupo, como dicen en mi pueblo, ya chingaron, ¿verdad? Pero si no, va a estar un poquito más complicado. Ya se nos está acabando el tiempo, llegamos a casi ya los últimos 10 minutos de nuestro show y lo que queremos terminar con esto es, primero que nada, todos ustedes que nos están siguiendo ahorita, síganos en todas nuestras redes sociales, vayan a nuestra página de Instagram y síganos también ahí, denos el like, díganles a toda su gente, a toda su raza que nos sigan. Somos una compañía que obviamente está empezando ahorita, hacemos programación bilingüe del fútbol mexicano, and we do nothing but Mexican soccer, Liga MX, the Mexican national team obviously, so make sure that you guys let everybody know to follow us here at El Tri Online, again on Facebook. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube, váyanse al YouTube channel y también háganle subscribe. Ahí vamos a estar, and we're going to keep on creating a lot of content for that. We're going to have the ETO Quinela return. ¿Te acuerdas de la quinela?
Sí.
Yeah.
Y se pone complicada, competitiva la quiniela se pone.
Ahorita estamos tratando de conseguir un patrocinador. So if you guys are sponsors and you guys want to get sponsorship in with ETO, let us know. La quinela es una manera de que se pueden conectar con los aficionados también. And you guys can guess and do the fantasy challenge. And we get prizes every single week. And also a very good large prize at the end of the day. So be on the lookout for the ETO Quinela. En la Liga MX va a comenzar aquí el 22 o algo así, ¿no?
Sí, la última semana de julio.
¿Qué te parece eso? What do you think about that? Because I'm not a fan of that, porque Mexico, as you mentioned, ends up making all the way to they end up making it all the way to the medal rounds. There's going to be a lot of players that are not going to be with their team. And Mexico obviously makes it all the way to the Gold Cup final, which is expected. It's going to be the same thing. So, ¿cuántos jugadores ahí está entre los dos? Como 30 jugadores.
Pues sí, son muchos. Por mí no hay problema porque me encanta el fútbol y entre más partidos mejor, ¿no? Pero sí le va a afectar a varios equipos de la Liga MX y tal vez las primeras jornadas no van a ser tan espectaculares porque no van a estar los titulares. Sin embargo, yo ya ansío que regrese la Liga MX, ¿no?
Pues yo también, y tú y tus Pumitas, ¿no?
Pues gracias a Dios no le quitaron a muchos jugadores de Pumas para la selección porque van a estar completos cuando empiece el torneo.
Oh, okay. Oh, those are the 10 tacos mix? Yeah, we did. No, so these are the 10 tacos. They finally made it, and we're excited because we're going to devour them right now. A ver, what kind of flavors did we get?
I believe you guys ordered asada, pastor, carnitas y chorizo. With
Ay.
handmade tortillas.
The handmade tortillas. Fernando, a ti te gusta el chorizo, ¿no?
Oh, ¿qué pasó?
No, digo el chorizo de esto, canijo, no
pues sí
manches.
se ve muy rico.
¿Cuál es tu favorito?
Actually, chorizo y carnitas.
There you go. All right, so we're going to let her through it. She can place them right over there. Thank you very much. So again, we're excited about the tacos. I think we're going to enjoy them very much.
Ya me está
No,
retumbando la panza.
hasta me entró un dolor ahorita en el estómago. I was like,
Nada
oh.
más con olerlos.
Nada más. Woo. Luis, have we gotten more answers? Yeah, we're getting more answers. A ver, vente para acá, pues. Ahorita ya que se nos está acabando el tiempo, and we want to know. So how many people, not correct answers, but how many people have answered so far?
Do I say we have a handful of answers, but the thing is that they're not using the hashtag.
Oh, okay.
So
Tienen que
they're not using the hashtag. Tienen que usar el hashtag ETO jersey or ETO playera. So if you guys are gonna answer, si van a hacer la respuesta a la pregunta, por favor usen el hashtag ETO jersey or ETO playera. Porque hay muchas respuestas, pero no están usando el hashtag. Así que no van a calificar para el jersey giveaway.
Así es que hagan caso, raza. Y si no saben cuál es el hashtag es la cosita esa, del de teléfono, ¿verdad?
Ese es el mero.
¿Qué más dice la raza? ¿Más saludos a los demás?
Sí, no, pues saludos, Ira. Tenemos Isaac García, Jesús Cabrera, Albino Sánchez, Noel Estrella, Lupita García, Bernadette Pérez, Rey Roblero y saludos a Trice desde Estado de México.
Saludos a la gente del Estado de México. Saludos a toda la gente de la República Mexicana. Luis, ahorita regresamos contigo. A toda la gente de la República Mexicana que nos está sintonizando. Aquí estamos en Los Ángeles, California, desde la Chuperia. Así es que si vienen aquí a Los Ángeles y visitan la Chuperia, les va a encantar la comida. Aquí estamos esperando a comernos los taquitos con tortilla de a mano. Look, we got more people in the house here. Everybody's, having a really good time. We're gonna ask our producers to show us some of the crowd right there. Ahí estamos. Le estamos dando patrocinio ahí a Bud Light y a gratis. Bud Light, make sure that you pay us back for the sponsorship.
Está bueno el ambiente, se está poniendo muy bueno.
Sí, así es. So, Fernando, okay, we got 5 minutes now before we have to wrap up. One of the things that I find extremely interesting about the growth of soccer here in the United States, right? It carries. Look. Les voy a dar un poco de contexto. So, yo llegué a este país en 1990 y cuando recién llegamos aquí no había fútbol mexicano para nada en la televisión. Yo me acuerdo que tenía que escuchar los partidos de las Chivas en un radio FM, right? Y esa es la única manera de que podía escuchar yo los partidos. Y así como fue aumentando la población mexicana aquí en Estados Unidos, entonces fue cuando empezaron a enseñar los partidos más y más. Pero la explosión de fútbol en Estados Unidos ha sido algo enorme que solamente la gente que ha vivido aquí desde ese entonces ha podido mirar cómo ha causado una trayectoria significante la explosión del fútbol mexicano. Platícame de tu experiencia. Talk to me about your experience. What has it been like? ¿Qué ha sido como tú la experiencia que tú has mirado el crecimiento del fútbol aquí en Estados Unidos?
Sí, mira, yo llegué en el 2004 aquí a Estados Unidos.
El recién llegado.
Sí, no tiene mucho, pero bueno, ya 15 años son bastante. Claro. Pero sí me acuerdo que había partidos que no los pasaban, no pasaban todos los partidos, que son 8 partidos, no pasaban los 8 o 9 partidos de la Liga.
No, antes eran 10.
Bueno, había partidos y nada más pasaban los más importantes.
Las Chivas.
Bueno, pero sí, a mí me encanta el fútbol y yo me puedo echar todos los partidos de la Liga MX y me daba coraje cuando no pasaban un partido. Y ya poco a poco, como pasaron los tiempos, empezaron a pasar todos los partidos. Había canales que ni conocía que empezaban a pasar partidos. Entonces, sí me di cuenta me he dado cuenta que la Liga MX está creciendo aquí. Y sigue creciendo. Por ahí escuché que tal vez van a hacer un partido de la Liga MX aquí en Estados Unidos. Eso es lo que quieren hacer. Entonces, ojalá se les dé porque aquí la gente les encanta el fútbol de México.
So, ya van a tener el All-Star Game, ¿no? Obviamente el año pasado lo iban a tener el All-Star Game, pero se canceló por el COVID. Pero se habla de la Superliga, que en teoría mucha gente la quisiera. ¿Tú qué piensas de eso?
Mira, en teoría sí se me hace una buena idea, pero como es nueva y no mucha gente la conoce, creo que ahorita no es tan espectacular o no le dan la importancia que se merece. Yo le doy unos 5 años, 6 años antes de que empiece a crecer y sea un torneo espectacular, que todos los equipos quieran participar en ese torneo.
Está interesante eso, porque también regresando a la historia, ¿no? Y a lo que es el fútbol mexicano aquí en Estados Unidos y el fútbol en general. Estamos llegando a un momento súper clave, a un momento donde todas las personas que están involucradas en el fútbol tienen bastante pasión, ¿no? They're very passionate about it, and right now it's an opportunity for everybody to get involved. So again, make sure that you follow us at Estrella Line. We're going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to keep on pushing Mexican soccer, and we're going to continue to bring the best Mexican soccer content brought to you in bilingually in Spanish and English and Spanglish,
yeah,
¿verdad? By us, La Raza.
Yeah, and that's one other thing that I've noticed is that people that are not Mexican are starting to watch Liga MX.
Absolutely.
So that's really, as a Mexican, it's really exciting to see other people turn their head around to see Mexico play, like the Liga MX. So it's amazing.
It is incredible. All right, so now we're running down to our final 2 minutes. Luis Bravo, we're gonna bring him back in, and we're gonna see how many people ended up getting the question right now. So Luis, we're getting down to the final minutes of the show. So I want you to tell me how many people, first of all, who it was that did that magnificent pass for an even more magnificent goal to Octemo Blanco. Pues ya lo dije.
Well, yeah. I mean, the answer to the question was Cuauhtémoc Blanco, el gran ídolo Cuauhtémoc Blanco, was the one who gave the pass to Jared Borghetti. But yeah, so there was a lot of people that responded with the correct answer, but like I said earlier, no usaron el hashtag, ¿verdad? Pero el primero que sí usó el hashtag y con la respuesta correcta fue Noel G. Estrella. Yeah.
And how many other people used the hashtag?
Hashtag.
How many other people used the correct hashtag and got the correct answer?
Vamos a mirar. ¿Usaron el hashtag? No.
Same thing on YouTube or?
Same thing on YouTube.
So on all of our social media, on Facebook and on YouTube.
También está el Super.
Ah, bueno.
Bueno, pero el Super. Y más que es fanático de la América, entonces, por eso.
So then only Noel Estrella was the only one.
Yeah. He was the only one that actually got the correct answer and used the hashtag.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do with Noel is we're gonna send him an ETO jersey, but because we have a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
We have a lot of people that got the question right, but they didn't use the hashtag. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a raffle in the coming days with everybody that got it right? And we're gonna give away that jersey right there. Y a Noel le vamos a mandar una ETO. No, ¿sabes qué? Tengo una playera de los Pumas, una jersey de los Pumas.
Oh, salió ganón.
So a Noel le voy a mandar una playera de los Pumas y a los demás we're going to do a raffle. Vamos a hacer una rifa con todos los nombres. So Luis Bravo is going to take all the names down and we're going to do a little special segment where we're going to show who's going to end up winning that playera. So
tenemos más saludos desde México, mira, de Estancia Pun, de saludos de Nogales, Sonora también. Entonces mucha gente de México ya mirándonos ahorita en vivo.
So saludos a toda la banda de México. So we're pretty much down to our final minutes. Guys, thank you very much for joining us today. Fernando, it's been a pleasure. We want to thank La Chuperia once again for holding it down, for hosting us. But now we got to get to our predictions. So let's start with you. Predictions, score, including who scores the goals.
Mira, creo que va a ser un partido cerrado el primer tiempo, pero el Chucky nos regala un golazo empezando el segundo tiempo y así se abre el marcador y los siguientes dos goles van a ser de Funes Mori y les vamos a dar la chance a Nigeria que meta un gol. Entonces 3-1.
All right, so Luis, what about your predictions?
Yo también creo un 3-1, pero yo digo que uno de Funes Mori que sí nos va a sorprender al final y a ver, yo le doy 2 a Chucky. 2 de Chucky, 1 de Funes Mori.
So va a ser 3-1.
3-1 van a quedar.
¿Quién anota de Nigeria?
Pues está
El
difícil.
delantero.
Uno de los jugadores que va a jugar.
I think that it's going to be 2-1 Mexico. I think that Nigeria is going to score first. Nigeria va a anotar el primero y después se van a poner las pilas. Yo también pienso que va a anotar Funes Mori. Esa es mi expectativa, especialmente como dijo Gio, si es el número 9. Si juega de 9 Funes Mori, sí va a anotar un gol. Y pienso que Chucky también va a anotar el otro gol. So Funes Mori, esa dupla va a estar muy buena en el futuro, ¿no?
Yeah. I mean, as long as we'll see, right? Va a ser el primer partido que se juegan juntos, entonces hay que ver cómo se acoplan bien y a ver cómo se le funciona para Tata.
Y lo más importante, que no haya grito, ¿eh?
¿Que no haya qué?
Grito.
Oh, claro. So, para todos, por favor, si están en el estadio, si nos están escuchando, o si van a ir a los partidos en el futuro, por favor, hagan desmadre, pero sin el grito, y no pasa nada.
Más ahorita que me están escuchando antes del partido, ¿verdad? Porque ahorita de seguro están mirando el podcast ahorita antes de entrar, por eso.
Exactamente. Okay. Final thoughts, Fernando. Final thoughts for today.
Pues gracias por thank you for tuning in, and let's get this win.
All right, what about you, Luis? Final thoughts for today.
Yeah, I mean, as we saw today, everyone's really excited because it's the first Mexico game in a while here in LA. I was excited myself. I was kind of sad when Ramon kind of told us that we were probably not going to have this game. So, I mean, looking at everyone here, mirando a todos aquí, todos felices, contentos, listos para el partido. I mean, just the atmosphere itself already, you can tell that it's going to be a good game. So, I mean, that's my final thoughts pretty much. And also, thank you to La Chuperia for having us here.
Absolutely. We also want to give a big shout out to our crew right here behind the scenes. Our co-producer Jay Reese, our producer-director Andres Magallanes, al pintor Diego Rivera also works with our stats. So a big shout out to these guys for holding it down. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of work to put this thing down. So, saludos a ellos, a special shout out to them. But also, you already mentioned, ya mandé saludos a todos. Everybody knows that we're really thankful and grateful for you guys tuning in. So again, follow us on all of our social media platforms. Síganos en YouTube, suscríbanse, follow us on Instagram. Díganle a los abuelos, a los tíos, a los primos, a toda la banda que nos sigan. Así es que ya nos despedimos desde la Chuperia aquí en Los Ángeles, California. So on behalf of Fernando, on behalf of Luis Bravo, Gio Garcia from LA Soccer Hub, Jay Ruiz, Andres Magallanes, Diego Rivera, I am Joe Rodriguez, the Worldwide Mexican. Thank you very much for tuning in. Ahí está la musiquita. Hold it down. Till next time. Ahí nos vemos.
Órale.